Missouri have experienced a close encounter with a copperhead this year. We'll tell you why. And Arkansas says it has a teacher shortage just days ahead of the start of the school year. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, emergency crews respond to a serious crash in Jasper County that brings down power lines in all directions, including across one of the vehicles. Plus, first responders in Girard, Kansas learned safe ways of dealing with an ammonia-based emergency. And we learn about the year-round upkeep it takes to maintain a cemetery.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
For the second time in less than a month, a fire breaks out at a tire recycling business in Nevada, Missouri. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Crews responded to the fire at David's Tire Recycling at around 2 this morning after smoke was spotted at the business on North Click Street. Drivers were asked to avoid the area. No word on the cause of that fire. 15 semi-trailers and their contents were destroyed in the fire. Firefighters from Nevada, Deerfield, Milo, Walker, Brunel, Lamar, and El Dorado Springs contained that blaze by 7 a.m. Just a few weeks ago, on July 19th, firefighters responded to an earlier fire at the same site. This is video from that fire. That first fire started near the machines used to shred old tires. You can find the latest details on this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. First responders held an emergency response training session today at the Girard Fire Department. Members of the fire department, along with the Crawford County Emergency Management Agency, trained first responders in how to deal with ammonia-based emergencies. Ammonia can be dangerous in many ways, ranging from irritation and burns to breathing problems, even some long-term impacts. Responders learned ways to safely deal with ammonia in gas and liquid forms. The course covered a mixture of lectures, skill stations, case studies, tabletop scenarios, and hands-on training. A serious car crash in Jasper County takes out power lines and poles. That crash happened about 8 a.m. near Golden City. Authorities say it involved a car and a pickup. The crash took down power poles and lines in all 4 directions, creating an even more dangerous situation. Power lines fell across the car with the injured driver still inside. Barton County Electric had to shut off electricity to that area. Crews managed to remove the driver of the car, who was then flown by helicopter to an area hospital. The driver of the truck left the vehicle on his own and refused further medical attention. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Temperatures getting down into the lower 80s right now, but tonight we're dropping down to low to mid 70s. Overall, it is a pretty average night. We do have clear skies now, a few showers earlier today, but our clouds are now pushing out towards the east, so we're looking pretty good. Now we do have another round of shower chances and thunderstorm chances as we head into Thursday morning. You can see by 5 a.m. clusters of thunderstorms out in southeastern Kansas. Now we could expect some of these to push into the Missouri side as well. By 7:30 hitting Pittsburgh, Joplin, Miami, Veneta, and then moving along I-44 as that pushes further south. Now temperatures are also going to be have a big effect on our heat tomorrow and on Friday, with heat advisories issued in Nowata and Washington County out there in Oklahoma, but we'll likely see a few more issued in the Kansas side as well for Thursday, but I'll have all those details coming up.
Catch you in a few. They are a slithery, scaly, sometimes kind of scary sign that summer is coming to an end and fall is just around the corner. Reporter Garrett Hamilton tells us why some people are seeing more copperheads this time of year.
This is a model of the most venomous snake in the Ozarks. This is a copperhead snake. But as the season changes from summer to fall, you'll start to see more of the young ones emerging. Mating season for copperheads runs mid-spring through mid-summer, and right now is when most mothers are giving birth. Yes, copperheads give live birth, which is why you may be seeing more of them right now.
As long as you leave a snake alone, including copperheads, the venomous snakes, or other wildlife, they're going to leave you alone too.
And forget the myth that young copperheads are more dangerous than adults.
There is this ongoing urban legend that young copperheads are more venomous than adult copperheads. That is not true.
But that doesn't mean they are any less dangerous. Any copperhead bite can cause serious health issues. The best way to avoid a bite? Leave the snakes alone.
If you ever hear about somebody being bitten more than once by a copperhead, usually that means that person was trying to catch the copperhead. It strikes its victim, pumps it with venom, and then releases.
Skaliski says copperheads are not an aggressive snake. They also have very little to do with their young once they are born, and will hide from humans as much as possible.
The reason that copperheads strike humans is that they feel threatened. But with humans, it's a self-defense mechanism.
Another common rumor about young copperheads, they like to hide under anything left out in your yard. This is actually partially true, but they prefer to hide under things like rocks and wood piles. So the best way to keep copperheads away from your house, well, make sure to clear your yard of any loose debris. During the summer, it can feel like lawn care is never ending, and that's certainly true for cemetery grounds crews. In Coffeyville, teams are in charge of the upkeep of more than 20,000 graves at the city's 3 cemeteries. One cemetery can take a fully staffed crew up to a week and a half to complete. That includes mowing, weed eating, and clearing headstones of grass and dirt. And before they finish one, another cemetery will already have grass and weeds that need to be addressed.
We are out here day in, day out, no matter what the temperatures are, and the resting place of your loved ones is at the forefront of our hearts and minds. We firmly believe that we are the guardians and the protectors of the deceased and the families that still mourn them.
Cemetery staff say they understand how important it is to place items at graves to remember your loved ones for many people, but they add one way you can help during the summer as they mow and weed eat is to be mindful of how much you've placed. The Quapaw Nation hosts a workshop to teach the community how to search and apply for scholarships. That's coming up. But up first, with just days to go before the start of the school year, Arkansas puts out the Help Wanted sign for more teachers. Well, the new school year is just days away, with some Arkansas schools opening next week. As Chris Bryant reports, some schools in the Natural State are still scrambling to get teachers into the classroom.
You can see by this map that in north central Arkansas, districts have a moderate to high need when it comes to needing educators for the upcoming school year. Now those areas in yellow, those are the moderate areas. That's middle school science, ELA, and social studies being in that zone, with secondary science, foreign language, and secondary mathematics being in the high levels or the red areas.
Well, I've heard a lot of issues this year with filling all of the positions for sure. And Arkansas has several programs through the Department of Education to try to get teachers in a non-traditional way.
One way the state is working to attract teachers is to increase their salaries with a merit-based bonus system. Teachers can earn up to $10,000 with the program, and in 2024, the program paid nearly 3,000 teachers an average of $3,300.
In Arkansas, we were blessed to get starting pay at $50,000 for our incoming teachers. But unfortunately, our veterans were kind of left out in the cold on that.
The Division of Elementary and Secondary Education data for Arkansas says 76% of teachers stay at their current schools. Districts in the Ozarks are showing a teacher retention of 80% or above, and the Mississippi River area districts in the southeast showing the lowest retention for teachers.
But having professional respect can go a long way to helping someone be motivated to stay in a career. And when they find it somewhere else, folks will leave.
Our staff, our students that really enjoy that 4-day work, and the teachers see a lot of benefit to it too.
Even with staff ready to go at the Green Forest School District, there are still needs.
There definitely are still some, a lack of teachers in the state for sure. If you want to get your foot in the door in education, being a special ed teacher is probably a good way to get started on that.
Along with luring homegrown educators.
And we get a lot of our alumni come back and teach here. Quite a few of our administrators here are alumni of the district. So the people are very proud to be in this district.
And in classrooms across Arkansas, a teacher trained in one area may be teaching a different subject.
We still have a lot of teachers that do have to go back and take additional tests or additional classwork to get to the area that we want them to be trained in to teach and be certified in. That is still a need within all districts that I'm seeing around the state.
No matter what, teachers and administrators know.
The school is the cornerstone of the community where we spend the time growing as a family, not just through blood, but as a community family. And it certainly does take a village to literally raise the future of America.
That teacher shortage could continue nationwide. According to a recent study, just 12% of teachers are satisfied with their jobs, and more than 4 in 10 teachers admitted they were likely to leave their job within 2 years. Need help finding and applying for scholarships? Well, the Quapaw Nation Higher Education Department held a scholarship workshop tonight that was at the community building from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Participants learned how to search and apply for scholarships both in person and virtually through Teams. The event was free and open to everyone, but registration was required ahead of time. If you missed tonight's session, well, there's another one coming up that's going to be on August 20th at the same time, same place. You can register online at quapawtribe.com or by emailing educationdepartment@quapawnation.com.
So schools will be very upfront with you about this is what tuition costs, this is what books are going to cost, those kind of things. But they don't necessarily talk about this is what it costs to drive your car back and forth. This is what gas prices are where we live. This is how much laundry costs and things like that.
Dean Hall wrote a book called College Unpacked. He's giving copies to everyone who attends one of the workshops. Again, the next session scheduled for August 20th, 6:30 to 7:30 at the Quapaw Nation Community Building. The beat and the heat go on. Area high school bands are preparing to kick off our brand new school year. Practice for the Carthage High School Band starts in the early mornings before the heat of the day as the band members work to start the semester on a high note. A little bit later, the Outlaws began their title defense with a close win. Ryan's going to tell us who's next for the champs coming up later in sports.
And temperatures are really heating up for the end of the week. I'll have those details coming up right after this.
Postcasino.com for promotional details.
Well, today was one of the first warmer days that we saw. Now as we head further into Thursday and Friday, it's going to get even hotter. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We've got clear skies for the rest of the evening and overnight hours. However, more shower chances as we get into Thursday morning. Now, temperatures from earlier today, we got up to about 94, so mid-90s, a little bit above average. Now, we did have some early afternoon showers that did keep us slightly cooler than expected, but that's all changing as we're heading into Thursday. We've got new heat advisories issued for Nowata and Washington County out in Oklahoma. Now this is from 1 to 8 on Thursday and on Friday. We'll likely see a few more heat advisories issued for Kansas as well because they're seeing some pretty high heat index values as for Thursday, and then on Friday we're all going to see pretty high temperatures near 100. All right, taking a look at our radar, we've got the line of clouds that are following the showers from earlier moving out towards Springfield. Other than that, we've got clear skies tonight. Now heading into Thursday morning, storms start to roll in at 5 a.m., but we could see them continuing to move in by 7. So you can see northern cities, Nevada, Fort Scott, Butler, Mound City, all getting some heavy rain by 7 a.m. all the way down to Pittsburgh, Parsons, maybe even a few isolated showers, Miami, Veneta. Those will continue to push through the Joplin Metro along I-44 and then further south of I-44, pushing out towards the southeast. Still with a few lingering showers through the mid-morning hours. This is about 10 to 11 a.m., but clearing out at all of our areas by 1 p.m. Now we could see a couple more pop-up storms there. You can see a little bit of a green dot over there by Yates Center. Just some regular summertime pop-up storms there in the afternoon with more shower chances and thunderstorm chances returning Saturday through the rest of the weekend. But until then, we've got the heat to deal with. Now, because we have early morning showers on the Kansas and Oklahoma side. By the time those move out and temperatures start to heat up, we're going to see very high humidity as that evaporation process starts. So heat index values from 100 to about 103 in Chanute, Iola, Fredonia, 104 out in Yates Center, Independence, and Newata. But on the Missouri side, those showers linger until about 1 o'clock, so right when we're starting to heat up. So we're seeing less humidity by the time that the high temperature happens. So more of the upper 90s heat index. That all changes on Friday, though. For all of us, we're going to see heat advisor or heat index values that are above 102 all the way out to 106, maybe even pushing up to 107. So that's Friday. Actual temperatures in the upper 90s. Saturday, starting to see that come down, but we also have shower chances. Hit and miss showers and pop-up storms Saturday and Sunday night into Monday morning. We're going to see more widespread thunderstorms along a cold front. That affects our temperatures on Monday and Tuesday, bringing back down to average before we start to see another heat up next week.
Unfortunately, average isn't exactly cool this time of year, but it's a bit more
not quite.
tolerable. Thanks. Still ahead, Pitt State showcased their uniforms for their whiteout game this season. We're going to have a look at that coming up. And Missouri Southern began their fall football practices today. We'll hear from the team next.
Right now at U.S. Cellular, you can get
of Webster and Carlton. The end of August cannot come fast enough for football fans, with games being played this month. But before the action on the gridiron begins, Wednesday morning marked the start of Missouri Southern State's fall preseason camp. As the Lions prepare for their season opener in just over 3 weeks, one thing that will stand out about this team's roster is their depth. After battling through injuries last year, the focus for the coaching staff this offseason was to get deeper across the field. And while recruiting and the transfer portal are key in college sports, head coach Atiba Bradley credits the team's returning pieces more than anything else.
We've had much better success with our retention with these last 2 classes, and so now we're looking up, and you've got a senior, you've got a redshirt junior, and you've got a 2 true sophomores, and that doesn't happen overnight, and so it's taken us a couple years to find our groove, but retention is up, and so as a result, depth is much improved.
After last season, the Lions wanted to address the culture of the program, and for the players during their offseason workouts, the focus was on discipline, with an emphasis on putting 100% effort into everything you do.
Missouri Southern has beat Missouri Southern for too long, especially in the last 4 years that I've been around. That's what I've noticed is, we can't have penalties that are just random, and we can't have personal fouls. There's nothing like that. When it comes to weight room, Coach Dredge has done the ability to, establish that discipline. Like, there's no shortcuts. There's no, hey, you're not going to do this just because you don't want to. No, it's like, hey, you're going to do it because I told you to do it, and that's the discipline, and that's what's going to show up on the field.
Discipline and culture is a 24-hour deal. I'm only around these guys, 8 hours a week. I'm only around these guys, in the summer I can't be around them at all, basically. And so it's really your Dimitri Lloyds, your Trace Wilhites, your Draper Parker, your Zach Bergmans, your Colton Basses. These guys that have been in our program 4 or 5 years now understand what it takes to get to the level of competition that we want.
The Lions open their 2025 season at home on August 30th against Midwestern State. This morning, Pitt State released their uniforms for their whiteout-themed football game in their home opener on September 13th with a historical twist. When the Gorillas take on Ferris State in the Jungle, they'll be honoring legendary coach Carney Smith along with the 1957 and 1961 national championship teams. The stripes on the sleeves represent the 1957 championship squad, with that number on the helmet being inspired by the 1961 national champs. But Pitt State didn't stop there, as that patch on the front honors those legendary teams and the coach. But don't forget about the gorilla on the helmet either, as Pitt State will be looking good in their home opener. The Joplin Outlaws are back in the Mid-America League Championship Series after defeating the Texarkana Rhinos in their semifinal matchup on Tuesday. The Outlaws finding out their championship opponent tonight as the Abilene Flying Bison defeated the Sherman Shadowcats to advance. Flying Bison winning in walk-off fashion 5-4 after trailing 4-3 in the 6th inning. This season, Joplin is 5-0 against Abilene, and the best-of-3 series begins tomorrow at 7:05 p.m. in Abilene. The Royals and Cardinals are wrapping up their respective series on Wednesday before getting an off day tomorrow. Starting with the Cards, they finished the 3-game set against the Dodgers in LA with a rubber match for the series. And the Redbirds come away with a big series win over the Dodgers, coming from behind to pick up a 5-3 win. Jordan Walker had a big day for the Redbirds, going 3 for 5 and knocking in the game tying and winning runs in the 8th inning. Cardinals travel back home for a weekend series against the Cubs. Kansas City finishing their series in Boston, avoiding the sweep with a 7-3 win over the Red Sox. It was the bottom third of the order leading the way for KC. Kyle Isbell had a 2-run single, along with Jonathan India clearing the green monster for a 3-run homer. But don't forget about Michael Wacha, who tossed a quality start, giving up only 2 runs in 6 innings. Royals now head to Minnesota for 3 games this weekend. Can't complain. Royals, Cardinals, both teams getting a win today. Both teams still in that hunt for that final wild card spot. So as we hit that home stretch, it's going to be really interesting.
I know every game counts the same, but boy, as you get closer and closer to the playoffs, they seem to be more important.
Every loss seems to mean so much more. You would think more wins, but yet when you're trailing and those teams win, it doesn't mean that much. So it's more important that it's more about not losing than winning at this point.
That's one way to look at it for sure. We'll be right back.
In the state of Missouri, they're hero.
The temperature creeping up bit by bit.
It is. Our hottest day is going to be Friday. High temperatures in the upper 90s, heat index in the hundreds, but we do have rain chances also to deal with on Thursday in the morning until early afternoon and then again over the weekend.
I understand the heat index in the hundreds. So far, we haven't actually hit triple digits on the thermometer.
No, we have not yet.
Hope it stays that way. Final sports note.
Talking about heat, the Gorillas will be bringing the heat in their home opener with those uniforms, honoring the championship teams, but also that gorilla in the helmet. They're going to look really good.
I agree. That whiteout uniform overall looks really slick.
Looks really slick, really clean.
You bet. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.